Well, it's one of the most impressive stats I've ever heard. 904 career NASCAR starts. Why don't we just make it 905 and you run June 5th at WWT Raceway?
I like that, Frank. However, I know my limitations. That's for sure. But you know, I've always fantasized about maybe running one more race just because. But I know what I can do, and I know how I will embarrass myself, and that's if I run one more race.
Yet you're still racing. You won over the weekend in Pevely twice. You're nearly 60. Why are you doing it?
You know, that's a great question. I really like the process. It's very therapeutic for me to get up in the morning, go up to the race shop, get my race car ready. I like the camaraderie. Believe it or not, I like stopping at the truck stops, whether it's the Love, the Flying J, and you know, it's just something to do. I'm still very competitive. I'm you know, running and winning against 20-year-old kid. The races are 20 and 40 laps, so you can, if you're in good shape, like I am, you can run, you can win, you know, because these races are shorter.
So, like a basketball player, you can say declining skills, his vertical's not there.
Yeah.
Are your hand-eye coordination skills still there?
I would say my nerve has calmed down a lot. To be really good in dirt racing, you have to be very aggressive. And I'm aggressive, but they like to run the high side in dirt racing, right up against the wall. And when you do that, you pay the price. You bang the quarter panel, you bend the car up a little bit, you win the race, you're exhausted, it's all over. You've taken a toll, the car's taken a toll, and the next morning you got to work on the car, get it ready again. So because I do all my own work, I tend to take care of my equipment. You know, you'll wreck other people's equipment as long as they're going to fix it. But I got to fix my own race car. So I would say that I still have great skill. Why? I think I'm in good shape, take care of myself, eat good, stay active. But I don't, as they say in the dirt racing world, I don't send it anymore. Send it means you're taking the ultimate chance.
What about the family dynamic? Now, you had this marvelous career. Mike has a really good career, but Rusty has a legendary career.
Yeah.
What was that like?
You know, I've been asked that question a lot, and actually, during Speed Weeks at Daytona, during the Daytona 500, February of this year, somebody really caught me sideways on social media, and I decided to answer it. They basically said, "You're lesser than your brother. How's that make you feel?" And I thought, well, you know, I could really answer this mean, but I thought, hey, fair question. Growing up in St. Louis, my dad, Russ Wallace, was great. He won out here at, you know, Valley Park and Lake Hill Speedway. Dad won 400 races. I'm proud of my brother, Rusty. He's great. He really is. And I just don't have the sibling rivalry. Like, I'm really proud of Rusty. Like, I was his crew chief. I was his crew member. And I thought, you know, I never wanted to, like, show my brother up. I wanted to do what my dad was doing. I wanted to do what my brother Mike, my brother Rusty. And, you know, when Rusty won, it was like, yay, you know. It was never, oh, I'm going to get my brother. I'm proud of Rusty. I'm proud of Mike. You know, I mean, it's kind of like the Molinas. I really like watching Benji cheer Yachty on. I would say the Wallaces are kind of like the Molinas. We're happy for each other, and we truly are. There's no, oh, he ain't really that way. I mean, I love my brother Rusty. I love my brother Mike. We're good for each other.
Great answer.
Hey, great therapy question. I feel better about myself.
What about the social media icon you've become? 358,000 Twitter followers. Every time you do a YouTube video, it's over 100,000. Did you ever think when you're racing your car when you're 15 years old in that Pevely dirt track that you'd become this?
So, as you know, Frank, you're my friend, so are all the other networks. When I quit the other network, you know, I worked for Fox for 15 years. As a sports analyst. My boss, Eric Shanks, who's the president of Fox right now, somehow we were eating and it was like, hey, why'd you hire me? And Eric Shanks said it perfectly. He says, you have a lot to say, Kenny. So I guess social media was a way for me to give my opinion or to make a wrong a right. You know, it's like if anybody says anything bad about you, Frank, you can get on social media and go, no, that's not right. Here's what happened. So I was always trying to protect NASCAR. The sport's not junk. It's going through growing pains, or, you know, protect my Cardinals or my Blues. And, you know, I've learned to use social media now. I'm better at it. I'm not as argumentative. And I found YouTube. It's a little bit longer format. And I don't know. It's caught me off guard. It's not like I was trying to be famous. I was already somebody because I was on TV every year. But you know, yeah, it has caught me off guard.
All right, let's talk about the race. The Enjoy Illinois 300, $7 million purse, 40 cars traveling close to 200 miles an hour. But we don't have any idea in St. Louis just how big a NASCAR Cup race is. You do. Tell us.
So this NASCAR Cup race, which is very important, we've had the Xfinity Series, which is kind of like the AAA. You know, we've had the AA, which is the Truck Series. It is like getting a football team, you know, for the city of St. Louis again. This is by far, the NASCAR Cup Series coming to St. Louis is by far the biggest thing in automotive history that's ever happened to the city or the surrounding areas of St. Louis. And here's why. Because it is the NFL. It is Major League Baseball. It is the highest form of motorsports. You know, as they said when I was a kid growing up, you're going to see all your stars in cars. and it's nationally covered. I mean, you know, right here, it's going to be live on every, you know, all across the world. You know, I went to Mexico one time, and I said, how do you know me? They said, hey, we get TV down here too. So, you know, I mean, that's how big it's going to be. And there's so much more to say about the event, Frank. People like yourself, you know, covering it. I want to thank you. But yeah, I'm a racer, but I'm also a baseball and a hockey fan, and I'm all St. Louis. So this is big for me because I love racing.
So they're going to have a Richard Petty Day. What's your best story? Do you have a good story about the King over the years?
Well, the one thing that a lot of people don't know about the King is he can't hear. And he's country. You know, he's from up there around Raleigh, Durham, Winston-Salem. And you would go, hey, King, how you doing? And he'd go, just hook him, you know, like a Texas thing. And I could never figure out why the King would never answer me. It's because he can't hear me. But, you know, the rest everybody else knows. But there's a little tidbit. So if you try to get the King's attention and he does this, that's because he can't hear you. But listen, he's our most legendary 7-time champion. You know, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jimmy Johnson, they came after the King. He's in his 80s. He's the legend, and he's still going at it.
So World Wide Technology Raceway has done an unbelievable job of connecting with this area in a short period of time. Yeah. You have a take on what Curtis Francois and Chris Blair and what they've done over there?
Well, I'm brutally honest. I know Curtis very well, the owner, Curtis Francois. I know Chris Blair, the promoter. The best thing that happened to local racing was Curtis is a real estate mogul himself. Yeah. You know, the track was in a mess. It was in a disaster. It was owned by 4 or 5 farmers owned it. He went to every one of those farmers, and they were like within weeks of, you know, condemning the place, you know, scrapping it for the aluminum bleachers. The aluminum bleachers were worth a lot of money. He made a deal with all the farmers. Then he went around to the local community. There's a lot of money in St. Louis, more than I ever knew. And everybody got behind him. You know, Curtis is the real deal. As they would say nowadays, Google him. He's somebody. And, you know, he made friends with the community. He knew what he was doing. He got the complete community behind him. NASCAR recognized one of the big IndyCar races. That's the day that NASCAR came up for air. I guess about 4 years ago, we had over 40,000 people. I know you remember that night. And it was over 40,000 people. We're down in Daytona for one of our NASCAR races. And NASCAR did one of these, whoa. And that's when it all came together. Somebody's doing something right over there in St. Louis, and that's when they called Curtis.
So as a member of the first family of racing in our town. What do you think is going to be going on through your heart when you hear on that Sunday, gentlemen, start your engines?
Full of pride. You know, I've always been asked, why do you carry that STL logo on the hood of your race car? So my dirt car that I run right now, I got a Cardinal logo. And I said, that's my way I represent. I represent St. Louis. I'm proud of this community, proud of this town. We're no different than anybody else. We can always be better. But listen, we're the gateway to the West, Mississippi River, the Arch. There's a lot of legend in this town. And I never wanted to leave here, but I had to try to, be successful in my career. I was always going to come back. I've been back for 6 years. And I teased the executives over there. I said, hey, man, I'm the mayor of this race. I'm your mascot, whatever it is. So I'm very excited for that day. I know that we're all exhausted. It's kind of a deal where we're excited for it, but we will be happy on Monday morning. Everybody's going to breathe because there's a lot of work going on right now.
All right, before we let you go, we're going to ask you some hit and run questions, and you can't hedge on any of these, okay? Most bones you've ever broken in an accident?
3 ribs. I cracked them at Loud, New Hampshire. Actually, it cost me you brought up a bad memory. It cost me the 1991 Xfinity Championship, but cracked 3 ribs.
How fast did you drive on the highway on your way down to Channel 5?
Got to about 90 one time because I didn't want to be that fast. I was running a little later than I thought. I shaved for you, which took a little longer.
Winning a NASCAR Cup race or hitting a home run at Busch Stadium? You can have one.
Oh, definitely winning a Cup race. I finished second 3 times. I'll go to my grave with that. When I do this, that's because I never won a Cup race. We won 9 Xfinity races, but never a Cup race.
Favorite Cardinal ever?
It really would have to be, it was Ozzie, then it was Albert, and right now it's between 2. It's really a tie with Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright because they're all St. Louis, and I like that.
Favorite St. Louis Blue ever?
Well, boy, Red Berenson.
No, I like it. Old school, yeah.
Yeah.
What famous person were you in awe of meeting?
Wow, that's really interesting.
You thought to yourself, oh, I can't believe I'm meeting him or her.
I know this sounds totally crazy, and it catch everybody off guard. But it would probably have been Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith. I caught myself running to him, and he was talking to the lead singer of Four Non Blondes. And I got halfway, and I thought, what am I doing? And I stopped, turned around, and I was just so excited. At that time, I was really into Aerosmith. And he's like me. He's goofy. He's off-centered, and I like people like that.
I interviewed him at a Cardinal game. I think he's a baseball fan, too. Yeah.
He's a Boston guy. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, what famous person did you meet that you were surprised they know who I am?
Willie McGee. I was in Atlanta at the NASCAR race, and at that time, a couple of them I think got traded to Atlanta. Maybe not Willie, but anyway, they looked at me and they said my name, and I went. I was like in awe. There they are, and it shocks me. I'm the 3rd child, so you're never going to catch me being famous. I never think I'm anybody. So it always shocks me when somebody knows me. Hey, you're in the Hall of Fame. I'm shocked that you know me.
Right, please.
You are.
What is a perfect day for Kenny Wallace?
Oh, that's easy. A perfect day for Kenny Wallace right now is waking up when I get up, which is usually around 7:45, 8 o'clock, drinking about a cup and a half of coffee, and get rolling by about right at 10. Head up to the shop, figure out what I want to do with my race car, and then deciding where I'm going to eat today for lunch.
That's perfect. Which brother got the most speeding tickets growing up?
I would say it would be Rusty, because Rusty's always in a hurry. More so, Rusty's a great airplane pilot. He he owned forever a Lear 31A jet. And Rusty learned to fly here out at Weiss, out in Fenton. But when Rusty would taxi his jet, you know, during the NASCAR days, making a ton of money, Rusty would even taxi fast. He'd land a plane, and we were like, I'm like, we're even taxiing fast. So, yeah, I would think it's Rusty.
Finally, sum up in 20 seconds your career in auto racing.
I am a C+ to B- driver who had a lot of dedication, loved the sport, did just enough to stay in the game. I was a super sub, meaning when any of the great drivers got hurt, I drove the car and I performed really good, which kept me in the sport. You know, I'm a really good bench player, really good. And they could never fire me because I could sell sponsorship, because I can run this mouth, and all the teams wanted money. So I was a gamer, man. I stayed in the sport, won just enough, and yeah, that's me. I'm Kenny Wallace, man. It's like Don the Snake Perdome, one of the greatest drag racers ever said. He says, man, your brother Rusty's good, but you're Kenny Wallace. And that day really helped me. And I went up to the hotel room. We was in Vegas, and I looked in the mirror and I said, you're Kenny Wallace. And that saved my life. So I'll go with that.